Welcome again to my creative journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with my co-host, Ryan Porter.
Hey.
So yeah, man, we're gonna jump into it today. So how was the Grammys?
The Grammys was first I want to say that my first time playing the Grammys was in 2002 with Al Green and Andre Crouch. And they did like a gospel extravaganza. I got a picture.
You know, we gotta like post it on this joint. Like you know what I'm saying? In the edit, like boom.
Yeah. So it was just like after 20 years of seeing how it's done and playing with different artists who've been nominated, won Grammys and stuff like that. It was just interesting to see it in Vegas, number one. And I feel like that city kind of caters more to entertaining. You know, I'm not a real Vegas guy, but I feel like as far as shows and having the capacity to really pull the Grammys off was great at MGM. You know,
at MGM. So how was the hotel rooms? Like it was nice.
It was nice in a real like 1986 type way, at least from the one I stayed in. I'm not saying it wasn't clean, but it was just had some old fixtures and stuff. And I was thinking like Tyson probably stayed in this room.
Back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I get the intense feeling like work out in this room, do some push-ups. Like it's just so many spirits have passed through this hotel that stories that we heard at the MGM. You know, Tupac. You know?
Everybody's
I was thinking about everybody while I was in the hotel. Like, man, this is an epic place. You know, to be having this because it's
Sin City,
right around the corner from where Tupac got shot on Koval and East Flamingo.
Okay.
So it's just, my mind started to stir to all of these things. And I'm coming here and I'm playing with Nas. And it's just like, he was there in the midst of it all, you know, between the East Coast and the West Coast thing. And really somebody who was really trying to de-escalate the thing and just trying to show that they had love for the West and just trying to bring the love back into the situation, even back then. So it just made me kind of think about what I was there for, to play with Nas and how much of an influence he had on me. And his music definitely is one of those guys where I could relate, and I'm always learning something from him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, about history, and I got the opportunity to play with his dad at some jam sessions in New York.
Word?
Up at St. Nick's Pub.
Yo, he had the pocket trumpet with him?
No, he had the regular size trumpet.
Oh, did he?
But he was just really giving all of the guys who were really creative a chance to really play in this session, like on a regular basis. Like that's the first place I saw Gregory Porter and his group. Like just guys before they got to the height of their career, like they made a chance to make this place a residency for them to really hone in on their music.
Okay.
And just that his father did that, it makes sense because Nas has like, he's got rhythm, of course, you know, and he has like a great ability to tell stories. And that's because he's so well read. You know, he's read books, and you can tell his insight from his rhymes and stuff that he says, where it gives him a different perspective of the street. Not so much as somebody who's trying to promote being a thug or something like that, but really somebody who's just like by default placed in a place, you know, in the projects, and just kind of showing his genius through another form of the art, which has impacted me in a way where it's like I could throw on his music and there's always some quote there that sticks with me. So just to kind of celebrate that and have the opportunity to celebrate that and know how much people he's affected, it's like, oh yeah, you are that guy. Like, you know, and to be going through the rehearsals and seeing his practice routine.
Him being in his element.
Yeah, it just really made me realign that every artist has this focus that they have to get to. And it's just like trying to get yourself out of the way to get into that mindset. It's just like me going to the Grammys, like, which Ryan Porter is showing up to the Grammys? Like, you know, I gotta be prayed up and just grateful for the opportunity and just willing to give my best, as opposed to anything that happened in the past. Like today is right now and you got this opportunity to do it. So it's just that type of mindset that I could see him in and see all the other guys in, and just that camaraderie for the whole entire show.
That whole what production. It represents. So in terms of like the energy that he was putting out while he was there, like can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, no, I think that he really has a great respect for musicians.
Okay.
You know, and he's doing stuff with the Philharmonic and Disney Center is coming up soon. You can go see Nas with the Philharmonic.
Oh, that's fire.
That's historical to me. Just the fact that he is able to really immerse himself in the music like that and find his place. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just that type of energy that he just has, to where it's just like it just makes me happy to see his music and what we do go together in this cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you got some of the dopest jazz artists instrumentally, Robert Glasper and Terrence Martin, all these guys that are brilliant on their own, getting together and do this like celebration of his music. It just gave it some new energy to where we were all excited. I mean, just to play the music and hear it come together, because Derek Hodge, he did a great arrangement, like a medley.
Oh, he was the arranger?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was also the arranger. And we could talk about this.
Yo, that dude is a character.
I love Derek Hodge.
Yo, he is hilarious. Yo, you being around him, he be wildin'.
Yeah, he wild, but when it comes to like the amount of information that he knows musically,
yeah,
it's impressive. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't want to skip topics. We could talk about the Oscars too.
Oh yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about the Grammys and how Derek, he wasn't there, but he made this arrangement of the Nas medley with the big band collab and everything, to where it was just came together so perfect that you couldn't help but to get excited.
Yeah.
Once you started hearing the collaboration and what we were doing and everybody's voices, and we were excited. And I think that won't be the last time that we do something. I think that Nas deserves his own Vegas show, you know?
So when it comes to that, right, like every instrument has its own voice. When you were transcribing for that specific, like that concert, like for the Grammys, what was the pressure like?
I think it's always just a little bit of pressure, because as a professional, you want to come in and do the best.
Oh yeah, you want to knock that joint out the park.
Yeah, every time. So I think that was my thing, is just making sure, like I said before, like I was in the right headspace. Mm-hmm. And that's always just having consideration for everything. The people who are helping you, the van driver, the person who's helping you with the paperwork, like everybody has this necessary thing that they have to do in order to make this happen. And you're just grateful. From the person who sends you the email to the person who picks you up from the airport, it's always, you know, it's all tied in. So it's just, every part of that was just something that was divine, man. It really was. And I was happy to be able to be in that part of the process. Like, you know, and I think it's getting ready for it, like, and getting ready for the Super Bowl and the Oscars. I mean, it's one of those things.
Man, we're going to get into that. Because you did the Super Bowls, you did the Oscars, and you did the Grammys in the same year.
Yeah. And we did Jimmy Fallon. That's crazy.
And, you did.
On the Jazz
Jimmy
Tips,
Fallon.
where it's just like, we got to meet the Roots and all of that stuff. I think it's...
And you recorded at, was it Sunset? What was it?
Sunset Sound.
Yeah, you were at Sunset Sound.
I'll be there again, man.
You gotta let me know the dates.
Finishing up Kamasi's record.
Yeah, we'll be outside. I'll be outside the studio.
Oh, yeah.
You know how they go. They be like, oh yeah, we're gonna tax this. Yeah.
Real, they trying to squeeze the nickels out of you.
Well, and speaking of Sunset Sound, as a side joke, whenever y'all say y'all going to like record, I'll just show up the next day.
Yeah.
Because that's how long it take y'all to set up.
Yeah, it takes a whole day. It really does.
We be like, all right, Ryan, I'll meet you there, bro.
You notice how long we playing basketball.
Y'all was hooping.
Yeah.
Hooping outside. I was like, yo,
I'm
like, it's about to rain. I'm about to go.
Yeah. We didn't record anything. Like, once it got rolling, it was cool. But it's just one of those places where, you know, we have so many people too. 14 guys playing at the same time. Like, you know, it's a lot to set up, and all of them got intricate little, you know,
pedals and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of little intricacies, you know. So once it gets up and running, it sounds phenomenal. Like the record, I'm excited about that record.
Because y'all was in the room with the Neve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that sounds great. Shout out to Rupert.
Man, come on, shout out to Rupert. Because like with it raw, just recording
gosh.
it and not just having the levels on the board.
It almost sounds like it mixed.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it
that's
sounds like the
greatest
best,
thing.
clearest thing you ever heard. It's like those waves are coming in looking good. You're like, man, them waves look nice. Yeah, you can appreciate a good wave. I know you can. Man. Like, so once that everything is up and running, it's like we off. We can just take after take and we get in the zone. But that zone is the same. Is and just trying to find that. No matter if you are working out or whatever you shooting hoops, is like this focus factor that you have to have in order for it to be go time. Because you can easily get there and be a spectator in the middle of the Super Bowl, like, whoa, and forget what you have to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Forget everything everybody told you, like, and just be there.
How was that? Like, but before we get into Super Bowl, how was it for you playing? What's the difference between, like, the arrangements and things like that when it came to the Grammys towards the Oscars? Like, what was the difference?
Oh man, the difference as far as the arrangements, and it's hard to answer this question when not talking about like how inspired I was by playing with the orchestra and seeing how many black people were in the orchestra, you know, because I only remember seeing white people at the Oscars, and I'm not trying to make it a thing like that, but it was salt and peppered up. It was everybody there, and that was nice. And then to see Derek Haas, Dante Winslow, Adam Blackstone there as arrangers and conductors, orchestrators for this big
how
old
many
orchestra.
black conductors were like a part of the show?
3.
Oh, that's fine.
And it was inspiring for me, 40 plus, and I was hoping that they had the because we performed in the pit, and for the first time ever, it was closed in Oscar history. You couldn't see the orchestra, and I was hoping that all of the kids could see these conductors conducting this orchestra. That was one of
the first time we got 3 black composers, and you can't see them.
They shut it all down to where for the first
I'm gonna take
time,
this part out.
Yeah, we could take it down, but it was just one of those things where it's like, it was so inspiring for me to be at Capitol and seeing these guys handling business, orchestrators, knowing what they're doing, like full-on orchestras. They come in and they've written these parts to work on all of this. And the level of musicianship is so high to where you like, oh, I want everybody to see you. You are where I want to be in the next couple of years. Derek Haas is a musician that I want to be. Dante Winslow is a cat I'm striving to be like. And when you can work with those guys and see, hey, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring to where the fact that they didn't let the kids see that. I mean, they showed a quick clip of us, but like, they're supposed to see us.
I saw a quick clip. I did.
Yeah, but I wanted them to see it in action, like,
you
know, and I think that was the thing that was kind of lacking. I'm not saying I didn't have a good time, but I like to promote stuff like that. I like to see stuff like that because the impact could change somebody's life. So that was the difference between doing the Oscars and the Grammy. We pre-recorded all of it, so that takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Yeah, for sure.
But then it becomes more of a thing about the dramatic part of it. Like now that you ain't really too focused on playing, you got to be doing bounce or be real animated, you know. So that was the difference between the Grammys. Like we pre-recorded, now it was time to get your theatrics on and like bounce and move, as opposed to the Oscars. It was just like all orchestra, like focus, look for cues, you know. So either way it go, I'm loving my job. I'm like showing up early.
Do y'all get a seat after? I have to like, that's a great question. Like after your performance with Nas, do y'all like, all right, cool, I'm about to go get my seat, sitting back in my section? Do y'all do that or no?
No, it's more kind of a room where you wait with all the guys who are gonna be dancers or orchestral members.
Same with the Super Bowl, you didn't get a seat?
Oh no, I had a pass where I could walk all over the arena.
Oh,
and see, I can go on the field. You know, it was crazy.
So you were on the foot.
Yeah, so you might want to see it from here. You might see some friends. You know, I saw my high school band director. So it's just like everybody was kind of in the mix. So I could walk around and just had the freedom with my all access pass. Same thing with the Grammys. It's like you can go in there and kind of be in the back, but they have seat fillers and they've done camera blocking and all of this stuff to where you're not gonna find a seat. So it's better just to kind of hang out in the back with all of the dancers and people, and they have big screens and snacks, you know, to where you can see what's going on and see more of it. Cause you ain't got to be running all over. I want to see the red carpet, then I want to see this. So it's easier just to stay back there and watch everybody. And then if you want to really see them, you can go to the lobby. Watch them just walk into the, you know, and there's certain artists that I just had to see. I was like, she looked good on TV, but I want to see with just, you know.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where just all of that nostalgia, seeing people dressed up, you forget how much you don't see that. Like seeing people dress. Nas got the whole band like 3-piece suits. You'll see me in Easter.
I see all white joints, right?
Like kind of a peach with the white.
Okay.
So it's like real subtle, but it was like classy. You know, and it was just like he gave that to us. Like, here, after the performance, you can have this.
Oh, that's dope.
And I haven't put on a suit like that probably since prom. I don't really get dressed up like that.
At prom. Yeah. Yo, that's mad.
Yeah. I ain't wore like a 3-piece suit that wasn't black. You know what I mean? And just more just for like some type of gala event, like a ballroom type joint. Like, I can't remember. So I bought up all of those old school and see women in like ballroom gowns and hair all done up and guys with tuxes on and cummerbunds. It was like a big deal.
Man, I try to imagine that. And now the cool thing is seeing a lot of black folk like there, like who are not just like an entertainer. So that's the time, like I felt like when I would see the Oscars, if I would see, you know, the Grammys, I wouldn't see anyone in production that looked like me. And that's my field. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually not on the screen until now. You know what I'm saying? We hanging out. You know what I'm saying? We got a show. Right. But before that, no, I really wouldn't. And I'm very thankful that things are changing. You know what I'm saying? Things are changing for the best, you know, to give people opportunities. And especially in LA, also.
Yeah.
Especially in LA.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I got the opportunity to do everything I did this year between Kamasi and Adam Blackstone and taking me along on their journey. You know, I think that it's helped a lot of people get back into facilitating some type of work for themselves in the orchestra and the production side of it. Because I definitely see more of us everywhere, and it's inspiring. You know, not that I come in looking for that, but it's just a set. Even for me being there, it's a sense of upward mobility for somebody. Some trombone player is gonna be in that seat. You know, just like George was in my seat at the Oscars before most of these shows. Like, he was that guy. You know, so I'm kind of standing on the shoulders of him. Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, so he was the one that was contracting those things and like putting the right musicians in the right spot. So it's just like to kind of be standing on the shoulders of those people and still keeping that slot open for some young kid. It's like, you see me here now, but like, this could be you.
Yeah. I think as an educator also, I think that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't really get to see, if any, really like black. It was one, I had a history teacher. I think he was history and English my junior year in high school. But I never really had that opportunity. I know you have Fernando and you have all these different guys.
Yeah.
Reggie Andrews.
Yeah.
Like people that was like there.
John Spencer.
Spencer. Like so many people that, you know, really took you under your wing. But in terms of like black educators in Virginia when I was growing up as a kid, I didn't have that experience.
Especially that are thorough. You know what I mean? And really like, not only seeing it from the academic side, but seeing it from a psychological side because of where you're from.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and understanding how to deal with somebody who has undergone some trauma in a way where some people who aren't necessarily from that area or, you know, just don't know how to deal with kids on that sense. So it really makes me look at the educators in a different way, because it's just like, or just making music and art and different, you know, in general, because it's like you can't.
That's true.
When somebody's like really trying to do something that you kind of already know, like say I was showing you my song, I got to have a lot of patience with you in order for you to bring yourself into my art. You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, man,
Mm.
you ain't doing it right. What you wait? I can't have that attitude because that's gonna break you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just
I
like
agree.
learning from guys who knew how to instill stuff in me and still not break me at the same time was like an art. You know, you know what I mean? Because you teaching
I see that.
kids, yeah, 25 kids in the big band, and they all got different attitudes and
Oh, they got a
characters.
whole lot of attitude.
Yeah, and just trying to get them
Like-
like focused and like learn something. You know, it's a lot
Yeah.
to deal with, and it takes a whole lot of patience. So it's just like, and to not be mean, you know, because it's a lot of opportunity for you to be yelling at people all day, you know. But these guys never did. They was just, they would, but it was more for your benefit. It wasn't for them. Like they're not screaming at me for them because they want to. It's more
Mhm.
to instill something that made most of the students that were like Reggie, Fernando, all those guys that were really good with work, good teachers. It was always beneficial. It was no lashing back. It was always just like, oh, you doing this because you understand that nobody in my life is doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that part that really helped to facilitate that for me. And all the guys who was at the Grammys, Terrace was nominated for Dinner
Oh.
Party.
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other since the 9th grade, you know, and then Kamasi was there in
Mhm.
order to, you know, because he's on that record. And then just seeing
Ninth Wonder's on that record too, ain't he?
yeah, Knife Wonder's on there, Robert Glasper, I forget who else, but
I
it's
thought it was just those four, but I could be wrong.
might be. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
Because on the front cover it's them.
on the artwork. Yeah. But it was just great seeing them there doing that, you know, and
Mhm.
us after
Because Nas is my like favorite rapper.
yeah.
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 But it didn't happen like that until actually let me get some gin. It didn't happen like that until like the last 5 years. Recently. When I was younger, it was Jay. It was Jay-Z all day. I was like, yo, there's nothing. Nas who? Like
That's funny.
right? But then when I was even younger than that, I was like Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it changed from Tupac. It was never Biggie, no disrespect, but it was never him. But it was Tupac. Then it was Jay because the Blueprint was crazy, and then I want to say when Nas, yeah, as he just got older, it just kept getting better.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I was like, yo, what is he doing? It's just getting better. So the album with, I don't know the name of it, when he has like the wedding dress in his hand, because Khalees had left him.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like this is crazy. Then he got with Hit Boy and it was like over.
Yeah.
It was over.
They went to the moon.
Yeah, for sure.
That last King's Disease is probably, I listen to that every day. You know.
Because he's talking about something.
Yeah.
He's
It's
actually
nutrient.
talking about something. And then when y'all played Rare, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
he's playing this at the Grammys.
He is in rare form.
Yes, in rare form. That's what I mean by like just, just like art, man. Like true art, it just appreciates over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I received. And yeah, man, I just thought it was so dope. And then clicking on it, and I see my man's, I see him there.
I'm
I
over
see
there.
doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Trying
Doing
to
it.
hold on to the
Yeah,
gig.
yeah, for sure. Going back and forth. I said, oh, this is dope. And then Tara standing up, I was like, man, this is crazy because I know these people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really dope. Like I was on because Braxton, that's my homie.
Yeah.
So I go on the gram and he's real close with what's his name? Jahan Sweet or whatever. It's his boy. Like they're in weddings and everything together. And he got a Grammy. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know these people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yo, I know who these people are.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just so dope to see that. And I think that's why, like, when I was a kid, outside of entertainers, I need to see, you know what I'm saying, somebody that looked at me. So when you talked about black conductors, I'm like, yo, you need to see that.
Yeah.
You need to see that.
You gotta see it, and you gotta. It gives you some sense of like upward mobility because it's attainable. It's like somebody attained that spot. Like seeing, especially in the Oscars, because you got black composers who want to be composing for movies, you know, and now Kamasi's getting the opportunity, you know, all of these different guys are getting those opportunities to get their feet wet in that industry to where, not saying that black people haven't. I mean, Quincy and J.J. Johnson, of course.
Oh, of course.
They've done a lot of films, but I think that it's just
It's like one in a million, though.
That's what I mean. Especially the featured films, you know, without the help of Spike Lee, it was kind of desolate, you know, but I think that it's coming back. And I think that more people I definitely want to write orchestral music, you know, and be a composer of that stature. But I'm not ready. And it's nice for me to know where I am. You know what I mean?
So hold on. As you were there, seeing the way they were conducting everything, do you feel like now you're not ready?
No, I feel like I think you just said it best. Like you seeing somebody do it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then seeing what that process is much different than what I can imagine. You know what I mean? Like as far as the process of saying, okay, well, we're gonna sing you these songs and we need you to make an arrangement for like a 50-piece orchestra real quick. And just knowing, okay, well, you gotta know the range of all of these instruments, how to write in the right clef and the right key for every instrument, you know, making sure that you know how to write and read a percussion part. You know, it's not that I don't know how to do that, but I think working under the pressure of having something so big like the Oscars or something like that would definitely rattle me a little bit. And seeing guys like Dante and Derek Haas and Adam Blackstone that are handling it so well, you know what I mean? Because it's things coming at you and they just stay cool and just sort it out one by one. And that's the part that I felt like, okay, I'm not ready for that. And I'm so happy that I'm here seeing somebody like myself do it. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think that there were moments that took them there that you're talking about?
Absolutely.
That you didn't see?
From them?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that lets you know that it takes time.
Yeah.
You know, because
100%.
Dante, he's doing, I forget the name of the play right now, something Alabama, Blues from Alabama, or it's a play that's out right now. And he's done all the music for that. So it really reminds you of how much experience you have to have with working with big orchestras and doing orchestrating and stuff like that. So it just is inspiring to know that there's space for that. And there's nothing stopping you. It's like, I can go home and practice that tonight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah, it's like, and it's kind of what I do anyway, as far as listening and imagining certain parts and things like that. But to actually just sit down and say, hey, look, I want to write for a score and just, you know, kind of like what we're doing with the documentary. Like that can help open the door. Yeah, he said, oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're doing a documentary. You know what I'm saying? We had a screening back in December.
Yeah.
It was dope.
It's really those type of situations where people can look at and say, hey, look, he did it here. So let's get him to score something like that. You know, it's just putting those things together for yourself can create opportunities. And I think that that's the difference between like Dante or Derek Haas. They've made things with what they do in it. So when people look at it,
I see that.
they're like, oh, okay, well, he does that. You know, and I think one of my biggest things and why I say I'm not ready yet is because I haven't produced a film that has dialogue and has my score underneath. Other than the documentary, of course. But I think that would give people an opportunity to see where I am on that level.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And also, like, unless it's a crazy collaboration, when I think about 50 people, I also think about budgets.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, is unionized standard rates every day, practices, rehearsals,
doubling.
Oh my gosh.
You got people play 3-4 different instruments.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, hey, like that could come out to something. So, like, man.
Yeah.
I think something that I feel like I've learned from majority of people's success in entertainment, especially, when you see their earlier work, you get to judge it in a sense of saying, wow, imagine if I gave them a budget. You know what I mean? So you come out, right? We're going to come out your documentary. This, when do you want to drop it? Whenever.
Yeah.
His brother want to come
once
out
we
with
get
it.
done.
Yeah. Whenever we get done, right?
Yeah.
And when that comes out, people are going to see, like, and hear what you've done, right?
Yeah.
But then they're going to say, people, producers or whoever, are going to say, man, imagine if we gave Ryan a budget, what he would have produced.
And I think that's one of the things.
That's go a long way.
That is a whole conversation in itself, because that's what I hope to attain by us maybe getting a platform and connected to one of these things. But if you don't have the opportunity to get with a super Netflix or Hulu or anybody who has the budget to provide, the resources that they have, that's when you see some of the most resourceful music. We're so resourceful, man.
Yeah, that's
I've seen people make things work, and you wouldn't be missing the orchestra. It's just so many different avenues as an independent artist that you could choose to still make it be what it can be to compete, to get somebody to say what you just said, like, you did all of this with this. Well, imagine if, he actually had the resources that we have.
Yeah.
So it's really still trying to make that level of work with the integrity that they have, but just finding resourceful ways to pull it off. A lot of the strings that I've had to use have been double, triple, two people, and it sounds like an orchestra, but I've overdubbed these people 3-4 times, you know what I mean? And just little nifty things like that can help as far as the sonic sound of it when it comes to a live performance, and hiring 50 people to play at the same time. It's like, it's unfathomable to me, but at the same time, like, it can happen. It won't be from my pocket.
It can happen, but
it would
on
have
another
to be
note,
for the Oscars.
You know what I'm saying? The way my bank account set up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It take 3 days for.
Yeah, that's bad funny.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was, all of it's been inspiring, and this year has been something where, like,
This year's been something crazy.
I can't say nothing bad about anything. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it just makes me grateful that we don't get stuck in our feelings, or don't get stuck in circumstances, situations. It's just, time keeps going, and those feelings just change. And you can leave whatever trauma or whatever it is that really affected you out of the way of what you're trying to get to. And I think that's what I've had to do to even get to these places, say, okay, this might have happened, and these things that, peaks and valleys might have happened, but that doesn't define who I am, especially when it's coming to me praying for something and trying to get there. It's just like, I even got to get out of the way and just see what happens. With the phone rings, who's picking up the phone? Like, who's coming to the gig? Like, what type of spirit am I going to have? And is that the type of spirit that is going to keep that happening? Or is it going to be, so it's all the stuff I take consideration of, because it's not just me showing up playing the trombone. It's like,